dear one. I think going back to the subject of self-love is never a waste because it's like bringing it back and back and back as we uncover these shadow parts inside of us, which are basically parts that are not being included in the love that is everywhere. So if we want full liberation, if we really want to wake up to our true nature and start living fully aligned with our soul as an expression of that love, of that light, it's not possible if we still keep certain parts of ourselves, our shadows, as we call them, if we exclude them. And that's why cycling back regularly, frequently, I do, is, when we see the next layer of shadow, of disconnect, then we can go, oh, yes, you too, you too. And that is it's like, it feels like a lifelong process. I have been doing this, I have been talking about self-love forever. My book that I published was it in 2009, maybe about 15 years ago, a little more. I have deepened so much since then because it's a non-stop ongoing process. If you want access to the book, it's called Imagine Being Kind to Yourself. The link is in the description. So when you start realizing that there is only love, love is the fabric of the earth, of the world. It is what everything is made of. And that's hard to accept if you feel a lot of lack of love, right? It's like, yeah, well, that's not loving. Look at the world. That's not very loving. Yeah, I agree. But it does not take away from the fact that love is the fabric of everything. And I can say that with a little more conviction because I had that realization years ago. Was that in 2007 or 8 before I came to America? No, 8, what was it? 1998 or 9. It's a long time ago. No, it's even before in the late 80s. So when I started really sensing, feeling, experiencing when that love that literally took me over for several months, it was so obvious there was only love. And then in that process, and then afterwards, when it went away, then I really had to start looking at where in my life I was not loving myself. And that's been a long, long journey. So it's not something we just do overnight and then we're done. It's as these layers reveal themselves, when we have to meet them with love. And a question we can ask ourselves is, where in my life or where in my body, physical, emotional, mental, where in my life or body am I denying love? Those are the places that are contracted, that are hurting, that are traumatized, that are lonely, that causes pain, that probably cause a lot of physical pain, disease, all these things that we're trying to get rid of through other means. I would say as long as we are not connected with the love that we are, it's probably a really good idea, to feed yourself with the good foods, with, good remedies, good healing practices, because that keeps us going. It's like that does feed love to us in a way that is very helpful to eventually start shedding the layers that we have denied love. And the only way we can shed those layers is by loving them, because then they just dissolve. They don't even disappear. It's like, what was that again? It doesn't, it's not real. Lack of love is not real. So asking that question, then you will probably notice a lot about yourself. And you might put together two and two and start understanding why your life is unfolding the way it is. And again, I this is my own ongoing process. I am so much better at just, it's like scooping it up. As soon as I notice a part that's becoming conscious, that has lived in the unconscious as a shadow, I immediately scoop it up. It's like, oh, just, oh, you can come in too. You are lovable too. And sometimes it takes only one time, and sometimes it takes many, many, many times, because some of these are so deep and they are also part of the collective. So we're not just doing it for ourselves, we're basically doing it for the collective. And every time we embrace and love an unloved part, we naturally become more love, which we will experience that in our own lives. But that frequency or that wave of love, it goes out. And it even though we don't see it or may never understand it or know it or hear about it, cannot be in any other way. So in that way, we become the frequency, we become frequency holders, like I talked about, I think yesterday. And we just become frequency holders of a higher frequency, of a higher vibration, because we are allowing that light and that love to be our anchor, our foundation consciously. And there will be a natural saying no to anything that is not love. We can still meet that with love, but we're not accepting it into our lives as a reality. I heard somebody recently say that something like, disease or discomfort is simply that there is not enough love being offered. And that makes total sense, because we may be very loving to ourselves, but we still have issues that are troubling us, that are challenging us. So I thought that was a very insightful question. It's like, yeah, we probably have been flooding it with love, but the contraction is still there. So in that sense, it's not enough love for the contraction to soften, and then realizing that the only reason that this contraction, this disease, this pain is here is because there is still a holding. And the more we bring love to the holding, then it all melts back into love. So I'm going to look at that myself, like, because some areas in my body, like, where am I not, how am I not loving myself enough? Or how can I love myself more there? So that part in me can also relax and also receive its true nature, its real nature. So any part of us that we deny love is what we experience as discord, pain, disease, disharmony. The love is the fulfillment of the fabric of the earth. It is what everything is made of. So it really is our task to bring that love to anything and everything that we can find that is being denied love. Now, that does not mean that you have to go out in the world and run around and, love everybody like in a physical, expressive way. If you feel moved to, do it. But it is becoming that. And when we start doing it with ourselves, the unloved parts, then there will be a natural overflow that can go out to others. And it may just be a glance, a loving look. It might just be, a feeling, a thought going out as love to somebody, maybe somebody who is, homeless, or a friend who is struggling, without taking on their challenge. We can hold them, and allow that love to hold them, just by us opening up to that love, and that love knows what to do. And again, you may never know, we may never know what impact it has, but we can be sure that it's not gonna be bad. It's not gonna make things worse or anything like that. It's just becoming the spreaders of love. And as we do that, it's like the fabric of who we are and everything else is. It just comes back online. It's like we are remembering it back into our experience or into existence. Because remember, it is already here. And that's such an important thing to just kind of make part of something we can rest in and remember at any time. It's like, oh yeah, love is here. The reason I'm not experiencing it is because I can't see, hear, taste, touch, or smell it. And I'm denying myself part of myself, that love. That is why I'm not experiencing it. It's not always easy. And there will be a lot of mind stuff that's going to say, show me, or, look at the world, look at my life. Yeah, I understand that. It's not easy. It's not just, a snap of a finger and there it is available to us. It is a lot of deep work we need to do. And we start, for instance, in our bodies, we start finding holding patterns that we have no idea that they're even there. And that's because there is a holding ourselves together as separate. We are not able yet to lean back into that ocean, or that shimmering love that is everywhere. You can just, even for a moment, just imagine that you can just lean back or soften into something that is here everywhere. It's the field, it's heaven on earth. We can't see it, we can't taste it, we can't touch it with our physical senses, but just kind of reminding ourselves and opening up to the field, which is invisible to us, until, a deeper faculty opens up inside of us. Then we will probably start being able to see it. Maybe that's when the third eye opens up. But in the meantime, letting ourselves remember and making that kind of a foundational truth that we practice every day, but not just as a mental thing. We want to get it out of the mental and into the body, into our experience. But the mind is the reminder. The mind is the reminder. It's like, okay, so if love is everywhere, the field is all around, right? The meditation I offered the other day, you look into the dark, you look with closed eyes, you look just into the darkness, and then you start realizing that this is actually the divine. I'm looking into the darkness, I'm looking into the divine, and it is everywhere. There's no boundaries, there's no shapes. It's just a vast ocean of love, or of presence. And that's the field that we live in. We live and move and have our being in this field. It's everywhere. And that is something that, when I really keep reminding myself of that, there's always a part that takes a deep breath. It's like, oh yeah, I didn't even know I was, tensing up. I didn't even know it because it's so in our programming, that we are like, oh, I have to do it myself. So we need to consciously remember and remind ourselves, like, no, the field, the loving field of fulfillment is right here. And I'm just gonna take a nice breath into it and then open up to it so it can reveal to my inner sense, to my soul sense, what is true. Because I have been closing off to it. So by saying, okay, I don't know, I'm willing to learn and be open to it, but now I'm opening up where you show me field, or you show me God, or you show me however it resonates with you. And then you just wait and you just do this consistently. And you will start noticing that you're getting more insights, more intuition, more guidance that you then need to start learning to trust more. And then eventually, you just act from there. And it becomes very natural just to act from within, no matter what the outer says, no matter what anybody's trying to convince you of. You always have access to the field, inside and out, and just let it inform us. So, self-love is basically letting the field, which is the fabric of love, allowing this ocean of love, allow that in to the places where you have denied it to yourself. And as Rumi says, where have we built what is it, the walls or something? We are the ones who have been building these walls, these blockades around it, so we can't receive it. But by opening up to receive it, that will automatically start dissolving these walls. And then as they dissolve, then you realize that there's really nothing to do because it's always been here. It's just that I was, doing this one. I was looking away from it or saying, no, I don't want it or whatever. And when we stop doing that, it is all here. So an invitation over and over to be very loving to yourself, to be curious where and when and how you are denying love to yourself, to your body, and is there a way you can give more love to those parts, because it's not enough, and it has to be consistent because we still live in the matrix, which is based on not love, right? We're still here, so we're bombarded with that energetically, maybe not with thought so much, but with energetics, and because everybody else is living like that, so there's no way we can't feel it, but we can certainly become aware of it, and then, pause during the day and just like, okay, what part am I not loving right now? Maybe the part that's stressed, that thinks he or she needs to do something, or pushing yourself, or denying yourself, or whatever. It's like, oh, that's not very loving. That's not very loving. And then you can choose, like, I don't want to treat myself like that. And then you have a choice. And then little by little, little chisel, all that not love is just eventually just going to dissolve. Yes, you deserve it. Absolutely.